welcome to episode 94 for Gaming Data 101, the show where gamers became dads and are now looking for cheat codes. If you're brand new to the show, Gaming Data 101 goes live each and every single Wednesday as a podcast, and then we go live on Fridays as a video on YouTube. Joining me as usual is my host, Ricky. What happened?
I was like, when I don't mess up. Hi.
When we don't mess up. Nice.
Dude, you know what? Full disclosure for the last, was it the last episode or the episode for the last episode? Yeah, I think it was for the last episode.
Full disclosure, for the past 2 months, we've had nothing but like...
No, it's pretty funny for the last episode though.
Oh, okay,
I had everything once. Okay, so normally when we're done recording, I'll go ahead, edit the video episode along with Chris. He edits the audio episode. And then we go ahead and actually upload everything. In my case, I have uploaded everything. I have made the Facebook post, everything. I was completely done. I somehow decided to look on YouTube to see the episode, just to see, how our views are doing and things like that, just for the analytical portion. And I noticed that for the last video, it basically said, well, what the heck was it? Draft. It was under draft. I'm like, what do you mean under draft?
Oh, Jesus. So it never actually uploaded?
So when I caught that on Saturday instead of Friday. Nice. On Saturday, I pull up my computer because I keep my computer open. And then I noticed that I actually never clicked on, published. So it had finished processing and everything. All it was missing for me was to actually hit, just publish.
All right.
But I had a schedule and everything, and that was just an epic fail for me.
It happens, man. Don't worry. It really happens. So let's go ahead and get started with the show, Ricky. So anything new, anything interesting, any new games primarily?
No, I have not played a single game whatsoever. I just been trying to enjoy life itself.
How's that working out?
I went fishing
nice.
in a boat. I caught 2 stingrays.
That's not a game.
I mean, it's a
real
hobby.
Game of fishing.
It's a hobby. It's a VR.
Yeah, man, it's a VR. Okay, sure. We can call it that. That's good, man.
It's an RR, real reality.
Real reality.
But yeah, I caught 2 stingrays, a puffer fish, and 4 whiteys. So that was fun. Man. That's I just been trying to, for the last couple of days, I've been trying to stay away from technology just because all of my personal stress at work and everything. So I've tried to just stay unplugged. So I just want to basically give a shout out to James Kindlesberger. I've been noticing he's been holding it down, putting posts, Ralph, just in general to everybody, in our Facebook that is just keeping it live and everything. It's just, I truly do appreciate you because it just makes it that much easier on us. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to try to decompress a little bit.
No, well, that's freaking awesome that you were able to decompress. And for the most part, so we did the unboxing video. I still have to edit it, but it is coming out, guys. So we did the unboxing for the Nintendo Switch Lite, and of course the Zelda Amiibo. We opened up the Link's Awakening cartridge, but there's not much to that. So we did that. I'm putting a clip at the end of it that my son did that it was just completely off from what we were originally planning to do, but still freaking hilarious.
Okay.
You'll see. So I'll post it. I'll make sure it's posted on the YouTube, on the Facebook group, so that we can go ahead.
Sorry, I have the doors are wide open over here, and my daughter's just coming with her cheese and something. I think it's cheese.
It's just funny.
And she goes eh. So I'm doing it the same thing to her. She kind of just ran away.
Fair enough. It caught me completely off guard. But so yeah. Let me see. Where was I getting to? I totally got distracted with the face you put on.
A video after.
So we did the video. Yes, we did the video. We did the unboxing. But here's the thing. I haven't really been able to play Link's Awakening. I have not had much of a chance. I literally have played it for about 20 minutes. It looks wonderful. I tell you that much. It looks amazing. I love the look of it.
I played it for an hour.
You played it for longer than I have.
I'm just kidding. I don't have it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, dude, you played it for much longer than I have.
I just wanted to see your reaction.
No, man. again, things were crazy. Control C recorded all Saturday, and then like Saturday afternoon, Ray from Control C was like, "Oh, let's hang out." So we went and we hung out, and we played board games, which is the board games that you saw me post on the Facebook group and in my Instagram and all that crap. We played Wingspan, and we played. Oh man, I forgot the Terrified. There you go. Was the name of the other one. Really cool games if you're into board games. I highly recommend those. They're a lot of fun. Wingspan is about birds. Literally, you're just birds. You have an aviary, and you're trying to get as many birds as you can. And you have to lay eggs, and you have to sacrifice eggs, and you have to. It's weird. It's really weird, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
It doesn't. When he told me, like Eddie, who's the one we were over at his house, he's like, "Yeah, it's about birds," and I'm just like. Man, what'd you do with all the other board games? Like, you have like 50,000 board games, and you're trying to sell me on a bird game. Like, what the hell? Really good, though. Really freaking good game. So, highly recommend it if you're into board games. It was a lot of fun. And then Terrified, I liked simply because you're playing as a group. So, it's everybody versus the monsters. So, like, the way the monsters are designed is like they have their own deck of cards. And when you flip it, it tells you what actions the monsters are doing. And then depending on how hard you want the game to be, you can pick 2 monsters, 1 monster, 4 monsters, 5 monsters. And basically we were just picking at random. We did 3 monsters. We did Dracula, we did the Swamp Thing, and we did the Mummy. So it's one of those where the 3 of us are kind of working together to make sure that we're basically killing these monsters and trying to survive. Okay. And there's villagers involved that can come out into the table at any point. They actually die, and if they die, they're just dead. If you get hit once, you get knocked out, but you go back to the hospital. Depending on what you choose to do, you may lose your bonus cards, but if you don't block and you actually get hit and you go to the hospital, you keep your bonus cards. It's weird. It's interesting. Highly recommended. Go check it out if you have not done so already. Now, I did want to get to this point. I have interesting news, Ricky. We have something user submitted. It's submitted by our very own Garrett Schneider. We have a Gamer on the Street review for Borderlands 3. Yay! So let's go ahead and kick this over to Garrett and hear what he has to say about Borderlands.
Hey, everybody. This is Garrett with Gaming Dad 101. Ricky, Chris, thank you guys so much for having me on. So glad to be able to finally do this Gamer from the Street review for Borderlands 3. I've been waiting for this for so long, ever since we heard it coming out in April, and I have been chomping at the bits to get time to play this game. Went through a very exhausting process to get my loot crate and to get my pre-order, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Put about 40 to 50 hours into the game so far, and I have some good news and some bad news. Most of it's good news. I'm going to start this out with, I think this is going to be the game of the year. It's so good. It's so big. There's so much to do. Let's dive into it. So I did a pre-order back in April, the day that they released it, and I went for the Diamond Loot Crate, or their highest pre-order that they had, because I had to have that. And what I found out was they don't ship that until the day of the release, which was a Friday. But everybody else that did their pre-order, that had the pre-order sent to the store instead of their house, got the pre-order Thursday night after the store closed, which was 9 o'clock. I couldn't do that. After sitting on hold for about an hour and a half with the place that I pre-ordered from, we found out that they would ship out Friday. I might get tracking Saturday, and I might get the game Sunday or Monday. Wasn't about that. So I was scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. Called a local store, found out Thursday morning, by the way, the day that it would release at 9 p.m. They had a few copies that were extra. I could still do a pre-order. Ran down there on lunch, paid for my pre-order, came back with about 45 people at the store. All of us talking Borderlands, who we're going to play, which, by the way, so far, Flak is #1. Everybody is playing Flak. I did not. I chose Moze. We can have a whole other conversation about that. Anyways, back to the story. Get my game, 9 o'clock, run home, install the game, put about 2 hours into it before I went to bed, completely exhausted. And man, was I stoked to have this game. Super excited. So Friday comes around, find out that my pre-order had actually shipped, and it's going to be at the house about 3 o'clock. So now I have 2 copies of the game. So I had a close friend, really wanted to get the game, couldn't afford the game. So I decided to give it to him and said, hey, whenever you get a chance, pay me back. So then I got my Diamond Loot Crate, brought it home, super excited, started getting into that. Unfortunately, last week was not the week for Garrett to get his pre-order because I had to work all weekend, whole bunch of stuff, so I wasn't able to get you guys the proper review until this weekend. And I'm really glad that I waited and I was able to put some time into the game because there was a lot of things that I wanted to talk about that I feel better talking about now than I would have last week. There's a few things that I had issues with. One, there was a lot of lag when you open the menu, and you open the menu a lot in Borderlands because you're clearing inventory, you're constantly cycling through guns. Guns don't last long in the beginning. You literally you might as well just pick it up and throw it down and sell it. A lot of selling because you're going to want to use the money. But the lag was an issue. There were some people who lost their cloud save data. So however much time that they had grinding into that, completely lost. And there was a lot of other bugs. Some loot came out a lot easier, which I'm really glad that they're nerfing that because I feel like you need to earn the loot. And if you're just getting it, is it really winning? Is it really an achievement? It's not to me at least. So they've got a couple other hot fixes that they've put out right now. They're doing a big update beginning of October, and that's going to be kind of where they do a lot of the major fixes. Most of the people that are going to be affected or were affected were PlayStation people that saved in the cloud. The rest of us really only saw a few buggy issues here and there, a little bit of lag time. So that was some of the negative stuff. One other negative thing, I don't want to do a spoiler, but there was a lot of questions that we had from Borderlands 1 to pre-sequel that I thought were going to get answered in 3, and maybe it is, and I just haven't found the right echo cast. But I feel like there was a lot more questions that came from playing the game than there were answers playing the game. That's my only other gripe. So let's go into the good stuff. Everything. There's so much loot. It's so true to the original Borderlands games. The story was off, like I'm saying, a little bit different. Thought we were going to get some more answers. Some people we haven't seen yet that were in the previous games that you might not see. But again, I don't want to have any spoilers, so I'm going to leave it at that. Playing co-op, amazing. Really good. Really enjoyed that no matter what level you are, you can jump in and out of your friends' games. That was a huge thing that kept me from playing with a lot of people in the last Borderlands. You can go to the traditional mode if you want, and that's completely okay. That's completely up to you, how you play, if you want to play alone or not. I mean, there is no wrong way to play this game, and there is so much fun to be had because it's so versatile. Whether you're playing with a friend, without a friend, whether you're constantly farming a certain boss because now there's save spots close to a boss instead of not close to a boss, and having to run across a map and waste all this time, which, by the way, maps are massive. There's so much to do. There's so much to do in this game. With the amount of time that I have in the game, that's one playthrough, and that's not doing all the side quests. That's only doing a couple side quests, and almost all story. That's how big the game is. There's still another playthrough, And then there's all the DLC content that's coming, which I will jump into right now. So the first major update and everything is going to come in October, like I was saying. And that is also going to include the Bloody Harvest event. Now, this event specifically is going to be a Halloween-themed event. Most free content coming forth will not all be holiday-themed. And I think that this was something that came from Borderlands 2 with the Bloody Harvest event, that they wanted to continue on and continue the story on. So pretty excited about that. They have released a tidbit of information, but they're being very tight-lipped about it until the content drops. So you're going to get information and then the content's going to drop, which I think was another good thing that Borderlands did with the release. You know, you got told about the game, you got told you can pre-order the game, and then the game's here and you get to play it, which felt like an eternity, but we got it now. The next big thing that they're going to do is they're doing events called takedowns, and this is going to be another free content. So if you bought the $60 game, the regular game, not any DLC content, if you haven't paid for any DLC content, these two events are still coming to you for free. For free. So the next thing you're going to get is the Malawan takedown. And the way that they've explained takedowns, it's kind of going to be like raid events. So if you're used to playing other games, which I will not compare to, it will be like a raid boss event. So you'll have a little bit of storyline to go to, but most of it's going to be pretty much a raid event. And then after that is the first DLC content, paid content. So if you bought the game and you want to play and do all the other stuff, go through all the free content, you can do that. And then you can come into the DLC content, which I, of course, have bought the DLC content because, you know, I was super enthusiastic about the game, so I wanted to make sure I got it all. Other than that, the other cool information about the game that I have is in the first 5 days, Borderlands sold 5 million copies. Over 5 million copies, I'm sorry. Over 5 million copies. And so I'm sure that it's expanded from there. So they've talked about a lot of free content. They've talked about a lot of other content and dropping content on a consistent basis. So the events like the Bloody Harvest that's coming in October is only going to be a 6-week event, and then it's gone. Now you get to keep all the loot and all the cool stuff and all the rest of the stuff from the event. However, everything after that 6 weeks, it's going to be gone. So you have a limited time to get to some of these events and stuff like that. Man, I feel like this game could keep going for years if they keep putting out content with the amount of people that are into it, the amount of people that are streaming on it, everything. I mean, the play in the game is great. Guys, I can't not recommend this game enough. It is so good. It is so good. So go ahead, pick yourself up a copy, enjoy the game, play with friends, play by yourself, get some great loot, have some great times, laugh about stuff. Like when you throw a TDR gun and it yells at the enemy and it says, "Get over here!" Or, you know, you throw the gun and it chases the enemies down with like little spidery legs and stuff like that. Or you find a crazy gun that, you know, shoots hamburgers. Whatever, it's there. This game is so trolly and enjoys, you know, everything that is the internet and memes and everything that is all the video games that we play. There's so many jokes. There's so much humor in the game. You just got to play it to find it. It's so, so good. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much, Ricky and Chris, for having me on the episode. I'm so glad that I get to contribute and help. Till next time, you guys have a great week.
All right, Garrett, thank you so much for that Gamer on the Street review. It's been a while since we had them, and I'm glad that we were able to get one from you for this game. So remember, if you're brand new to the show and you didn't know that, we do Gamer on the Street reviews for games. So if you've watched or played, if you played a game that we haven't discussed or gone into in depth into the show, by all means, if you'd like to do a Gamer on the Street review, we're always welcoming those. You can contact us over on our Facebook group, or you can contact us over on our Twitter. I almost forgot the name of Twitter. So go ahead and contact us if you're interested in doing a Gamer on the Street review, and we'll make sure to feature you on the show. So once again, thank you so much, Garrett, for that review on Borderlands 3. How do you guys feel? Do you agree with him? Do you disagree? Tell me your thoughts over on our Facebook group. Now, let's go ahead and move on with the show. Ricky, let's get into the first segment of the show, or technically now the second, since we had a Gamer on the Street review. Tell us the reasons why we're broke, Ricky.
Whew. Hold on, I gotta take a deep breath because damn pockets are gonna be hurting this week. Dude,
nice.
I have not seen a list this long, this intensive, and I don't know how long. It feels like it's like end of the year, Christmas. So starting off for September the 24th, we have Baldur Gates Enhanced Edition coming out for the PS4, Switch, Xbox One. We also have the generic version. We have Baldur Gates 2, also Enhanced Edition coming out. So I guess this is a bundle coming out through all three systems, PS4, Switch, Xbox One. We have Contra Rogue Corpse coming out for the PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and the PC. We have Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch. We have Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition coming out for the PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. We have the Surge 2 coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, PC.
You really weren't kidding, man.
This is only the 24th. This is
a real big week.
Yeah, this is only for the 24th, which is the day that we're recording. Then on the day that the episode airs, for all of those fans out there, we finally have Mario Kart's Tour coming out for the iOS and Android. Hence on why, if you're watching the video, I am wearing my original Mario shirt today.
I realized this when we started recording, but we're very much Nintendo themed today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have that coming out for the 25th. Then for the 26th of September, we have Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition coming out for the Switch only. We have Gunvolt Chronicles, Lumience Avengers IX coming out for the PS4, Switch, and PC. And then finishing out the week for September the 27th.
Do you need to take another breath? Because this is a long week.
Dude, I'm telling you, we have so many games this week. Starting off the 27th, we had Code Vein coming out for the PS4, Xbox One for the PC, which I actually got a little interested in this game. I haven't read much about it, but just the box cover just kind of attracted me. We have Dragon Quest 11S, Echoes of the Elusive Age. Yeah, there you go. Coming out for the Switch. We have FIFA 20, for all platforms. Memoria coming out for all platforms. We have the game that you wanted last time. We finally
Ori and the Blind Forest.
There you go, coming out for the Switch. And then finally the last game for those fans out there, we have Tropical 6 coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One.
Not a bad week, but I feel bad for everybody's pockets because last week was also pretty bad. At least for my pockets, last week was really, really bad.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was very like, hey, you, what's up? Listen to me. Anyway, let's get on to the news of this week.
I'm trying to hold things down over here.
You're good. I appreciate it. It's just we're off the rails today. Fuck it. So we have some news. Bungie has just announced a huge ordeal in regards to Destiny 2 and what they're planning on doing for the next 5 years. So there's of course an article over on GameSpot. I recommend you go ahead and take a look at it. But of course, they're saying no Destiny 3 is coming anytime soon. At this point, they're basically fixing Destiny 2. So I took a couple of experts and I wanted to read it. So Bungie's investing in a large system overhaul for the looter shooter. Everything is changing: armor, enemies, missions, and even the game world itself. The studio claimed it wants to, quote, build Destiny for its core fans and the people who love it, end quote. Armor 2.0 at its core is about making every character slot count. Stats have returned in the character screen. Finishers have mods that affect your properties and more. Further, Shadowkeep will introduce a bevy of new weapons, from seasonal equipment to Shadowkeep gear, and some that glow when nightmares are nearby. Smith says that Shadowkeep will allow you to build your character your way. So it seems that Destiny has finally, possibly, maybe, now that they're separated from Activision, going to make good on the promise of what Destiny was supposed to be. Well, if you remember when they originally announced Destiny, it was supposed to be this 10-year plan. We're here in less than 5 years. They came out with Destiny 2. It did okay. I mean, there were a lot of people that went back. There were some people who never went back, who were just done with it. I was one of those people. But it's good to know that they're trying to kind of reinvent what they created. But from the article and from what they've come out, you're going to be going back to the moon. So it's going back to the original roots of Destiny. However, it's going to be different, and everything around it is going to be different and act different. So I'm very interested to see what this becomes, primarily because I'm not even in a rush to do Shadowkeep or any of this. Why? And you may be like, why? Why won't you try it? Simple. Guys, I'm a Stadia founder. I'm waiting for my Stadia equipment to get here because all of this is included in the Stadia Founders Pack. So I'm excited on that end because I think it's going to be interesting to try a game like Destiny on that service. That is literally, like, to me, that's going to be a litmus test as to how good this service is going to be. So I'm very excited about that. How about, are you thinking of going back into Destiny? It sounds like, I'm reading this over, Ricky, and I kind of want to give it a shot again, but I've already been shot in the foot twice. No pun.
Don't feel too bad, because I am the owner of Destiny 1, Taken King, and I am the owner of Destiny 2. But with Destiny 2, I did not get any of the DLCs. I did not get the expansion packs. I didn't get anything besides the vanilla.
Are you apologizing or are you bragging because you were smart enough to not waste your money? Sorry, that's a very personal opinion on Destiny.
Whatever
I don't mean to offend anybody who likes Destiny. I personally do not like Destiny.
Whatever's not going to make me, or whatever's not going to make people yell at me. So...
Feel free to yell at me. I don't care. I have children. I'm used to it.
So, but yes. So I've at least attempted to give them a shot.
Attempted to possibly maybe try.
Yeah, but there were some things with the second one where they were kind of skimping you on experience points and everything after a certain point, which kind of threw me off and everything, and I just completely stopped playing the game. Would I give it another shot? Yes, I've already given you, 2 chances, actually 3, because Taken King decided to be a whole complete new game as well.
Yeah, that was the one that made people come back to the original Destiny.
Correct.
So
yeah, and really that's what made me go back as well. So I played all the stories. Again, I gave it a second chance. Would I give it a third chance? I'll play baseball with you. 3 strikes, you're out. So
fair enough.
I'm willing to give you a third, chance. But right. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna.
Are you gonna do the same thing I'm doing? You're gonna wait till Stadia and then try it with me?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it ain't gonna hurt. So I just
remember the Stadia Founders Pack comes with 3 months for a friend, and that I was already promised to you. So at this point, I'm going to have the Stadia controller. You can test it out with your PlayStation or Xbox controller, and then we can discuss about how each of them work.
Oh, no, definitely. We'll definitely review
See,
it.
This is becoming a better review of Stadia.
So, no, but yeah, I'm definitely willing to give them another shot. I mean, overall, they're one of the better shooter games out there. It's just content-wise, they are always slow,
How so?
The vanilla games really don't ever give you what they promise. It's not until later with the expansions that they really kind of deliver in the games. So,
but that's kind of why I'm wondering, because you got to think, all of that happened during their involvement with Activision. They have already left Activision. They're no longer part of that scene. So this is a brand new Bungie. Like, this is Bungie independent, making their own decisions, putting their own neck on the line. So I'm kind of, to be honest with you, I'm more rooting to give them a shot simply because they got rid of Activision. You know what I mean? I would like to see what they're going to deliver after having been through all that, because this is what this is going to answer. We're finally going to figure out, has it always been Activision pulling strings behind the scenes, making Destiny be not as good as it should be?
Let's just say making it vanilla Destiny.
Making vanilla Destiny very vanilla. Or was it Bungie the whole time, just not knowing what to do after making Halo for so long? You know, because they have a nice concept, but they haven't delivered, like you said. So has it been on Activision's front, or has it been on the Bungie front? We're finally going to get that answer, and that's what I'm interested in the most. So we'll give it a shot. We'll tell you on how Stadia plays. That literally, as soon as Stadia comes out, Ricky and I will play it. I'm not playing it another way right now. I have too many games to play. I've given Destiny too many chances, and I'm not paying another dime for it. It'll be included in my Founders Pack.
There you go.
There's a debate to be made about me paying dollars for my Founders Pack. However, I got Stadia for Stadia, not for Destiny. So, you know what I mean? On the next news docket, we have something that's pretty freaking ridiculously weird and just out there. So, Ricky, we've all talked about the digital future. We've all talked about how much we want to download games, but what is the part about downloading games that sucks the most?
Downloading games is that you cannot get any refunds, or at least you have stringent refund policies.
Refunds, you can't resell your games, you can't do any of that stuff. That's about to change, thanks to people in France. So, I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt from an article over on Kotaku. According to the French gaming site Numera, as well as UFCQ Choiseul, I can't pronounce that, itself, the High Court of Paris ruled that company, UFC, I can't pronounce it, ruled in their favor in regards to a lawsuit with Steam. So essentially, Valve has been sued, and they have basically lost this lawsuit. And according to the French court, they have to allow for people to resell their games.
Yep.
Boom. Yep. First off, Epic Game Store comes out this year, disrupts the entire market. Now comes with this thing with the French court indicating that they now have to allow people to be able to sell their own games. Now, of course, they can still rebuttal. This thing isn't over. They plan to fight it, of course. Why wouldn't they? I understand with how much money they've made and how much could potentially be at stake. But this is a big freaking win, though. This is a big thing.
It really is. Because not only... I mean, as we know, there's a lot of games out there that are not to par. If I am capable of buying a physical copy and having the opportunity to take it back, to sell it back and get a refund, or sell my games, period, if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Why can't I do that digitally? It only makes sense that I should have the same capabilities as I do if I would have gotten the physical copy.
Here's how they're getting around it. They've been calling it a subscription service, but apparently the French court didn't give a damn. They're like, yeah, no, that's not good enough. So they've basically been telling that anybody who requests a refund needs to be able to get it. They're going to have to review how they do their mods and how they do everything. But apparently, if Valve refuses to change the rules, pending the court's decision or in base of the court's decision, they, within 1 month, this is the part that's like, holy crap. So they have to change their policies within a month, or they're going to have to pay up to 3,000 euros per day, up to 6 months. So... Of course, Valve quoted as, we disagree with the decision of the Paris Court of First Instance and will appeal it. So they're going to fight it. But this is, again, a big thing, especially in the heels of the Epic Game Store. So we've talked about it on this show. What does Valve need to do to fix Steam? They need to fix Steam. Why is Epic even getting any sort of traction? Because they're doing things for the consumer and for the developers. So here's the problem that I see. If they don't implement these rules and Epic does, where's the market gonna go? Because I'm out.
Nah, I mean, damn.
Let's face it. I'm in Steam. You're in Steam out of convenience because there's only been Steam. But we're also in Epic now that there's an Epic store. So if you combine a refund policy or a resale policy or something to that effect through Epic, and you don't through Steam, or you're even just like, even if you do it through Steam, but Epic does it first, it's gonna be a big punch in the gut.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean, whoo, that's gonna be interesting because now I wonder. No, yeah, they're even gonna have to do it for people that have games. I mean, for me as an example, I have over 200 games currently in my library. Mind you, most of my games I have gotten it because of a subscription service that gave me multiple games with it as a bundle.
yeah.
So I am now going to be able to sell all of those games individually and probably make more money than what I actually pay for them.
Possibly.
Whoo!
I mean, you don't know what the exchange rate would be because they can just
Nah.
like GameStop it in there and be like, "Yeah, you've had this game for 2 years. You get $2." You know what I mean? So,
I mean, even
but
even
the
then,
fact,
even then,
but
I
the
still make
fact
more
that
money.
exactly the fact that it's moving in that direction is awesome.
Yep.
It also kind of spells more gloom and doom for GameStop.
Yep.
But if Steam adopts it, or Epic even better beats it to the punch, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo are gonna have to follow suit because once one falls, everybody's gonna go after the others.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's gonna be an interesting thing. I hope that this appeal does not go through and that the court's decision sticks. I'd be interested to see in what they do because they're gonna do something to screw people over regardless. And I'm just curious as to how they're gonna do it. I did also want to get into some news regarding Xcloud. So Xcloud has now finally, they're offering a preview that you can sign up for where you can actually test Xcloud.
Now it's like, what's the number? I'll text it right now.
You can test it through a mobile device or you can test it through your Xbox. And you can sign up for this preview over on their website. So I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit, put it out there, because I'm very interested. You have two ways, of course, of signing up. So far, they're really only going to have, it seems like they're going to have Halo 5, they're going to have Gears 5, which I'm really interested in, Sea of Thieves, and then, of course, you have to have a device, you have to have an Xbox controller that's compatible with Bluetooth. They're asking you to have 5 gigahertz of Wi-Fi or mobile data connection of 10 megabytes per second. You're going to have the Xbox game streaming app preview. Did you download it already?
I have all of those prerequisites.
Okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. And then, of course, you're going to have to register for it. So the downside is you may not be selected. The good side is if you're selected, you're going to be among the first people to try this, and you can try it again through mobile or through your console. So if you have those options available and you want to sign up for Xcloud, check it out because I think it's interesting. Again, I'm trying out Stadia. I'm putting my money on Stadia just because it feels like a good price point. I'm still going to sign up for Xcloud because I'm dying to test it. I may have to borrow one of your controllers, Ricky, because my Xbox controllers are not official Xbox controllers.
No.
They're the ones that look like the NES. They're really cool, but
It's okay. I mean,
so-
I wouldn't mind doing a comparison between Xcloud and Stadia. While you have Stadia, I can temporarily get Xcloud just to test it out and see what the differences are and how, what are the perks and cons between them. But that's something that we can cross over once we get there.
And we're going to on our
Oh, yeah.
November episode at some point of some time, some way, somehow. And then the last story for the week that I have is actually a pretty feel-good story. The developers of SuperHot have come up with something called SuperHot Presents. So if you don't know what SuperHot is, it's a VR game that also came out with a console version where time is stopped and time only progresses as you move. So it's an action game. There's a lot of guns and fights and things involved, but again, time is paused until you move. Once you move, that's when things go into play. So it's a very interesting concept. I've always been intrigued by it. So it's a really, if you haven't checked it out, just go check it out. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. But they came out with this called SuperHot Presents. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read this verbatim from their website because I heard this on another podcast, and I'm not going to lie, I almost cried. Okay.
Okay.
That's how good I was. Like, we have to put this on the show.
Okay.
Exciting times at SuperHot. We're staying super busy here at the SuperHot studio. The team has grown a lot since 2016, and tons of very clever, friendly people joined us to help. We came up and stayed properly indie, with no publishers or investors to answer to. Nobody's holding us back from doing weird and crazy things. And with the team expanding, more clever people can help us do things bolder and crazier than ever before. One of the final updates for Mind Control Delete landed on Steam just this Monday. We're close to the finish line for this 3-year-long production project, a title that's shaped up to be over twice as large as published as the original SUPERHOT, and that we're making free for the 2 million owners of the first game on Steam. SuperHot VR launched for the Oculus Quest a couple of months ago. The game had to be effectively rewritten for a standalone headset, 50 times less powerful than your usual VR PC. It took a year of development, blood, sweat, and tears, and every last bit of that effort was absolutely worth it. It's been the biggest VR launch we've seen so far. Quest is just breathtaking. Arcade edition of SuperHot VR is being played 24/7 in hundreds of arcades that are all around the globe, and Game Pass is steadily bringing SuperHot to droves of new people. Our goal to put every man, woman, and child in our games is inching ever closer. With a hefty collection of other exciting SuperHot and non-SuperHot things still in the works, some announcing as soon as next week, some announcing next year, we have been keeping ourselves properly busy here at the studio. One reason that allows us to keep busy, to keep exploring, to keep hunting headfirst into challenges and ruthlessly drop projects if they're up to snuff is our independence. We're lucky to build SuperHot at a time when support from our amazing Kickstarter community, the support we got from within the game dev industry, and our own foolhardy nature were enough to build a healthy studio with nobody but ourselves calling all the shots. We want to give other foolhardy upstart indies a hand now. Shipping a game without a publisher or investors is daunting. It can feel like a huge leap of faith. We've been working on a couple of big projects that should help make that leap of faith a little bit less scary for indie developers. They're introducing SuperHot Presents. They set out on a mission to find cool, fun, unusual games that might need help in the terms of funding and support, still funding, but also unsolicited advice and mentoring. We wanted to focus on developers in a similar time zone to help with communication, games that feel sort of like SuperHot, puzzles, shooters, and with corresponding art style. With that in mind, we've signed 2 games from Australia, really worth the time zone for us, neither of which are anything like SuperHot, and both with unique art styles that do not relate to anything we've ever done. So essentially, the long and short of it is, they are becoming a fund. They're basically funding indie games and acting as a sort of brainstorm. Yeah, like a semi-developer, but not really. They're staying completely hands-off. They go further into the article. It's just a very long article, obviously, where they go in depth into how they're not involved in any decision-making. They're available if you want the help, but they're only there for advice. The game is yours. Here's the money. And apparently it's because they've done so awesome. And it's one of those where it's like, dude, they're doing the Frog Detective series is one of the games that they're talking about, and then they're doing Knuckle Sandwich. These are all games that have demos on Steam that you can check out right now. Okay. And it's one of those things that I find it amazing, man. This indie developer that came from nothing, that worked their butts off, it was a tiny group of people, has now grown to the point where they're not even being greedy. They're literally just, here's money. We want other people to have the experience we had, and that's freaking amazing in this world. Because nobody, like so many little people care about anybody other than themselves, that it was so heartwarming to hear this story that I was like, man, we have to talk about it. Like, how awesome is that? And honestly, like at this point, like from my perspective, if you have not checked out SuperHot, go check out SuperHot. At this point, I want to buy SuperHot in every console I can. Like that's how good this story made me feel. So I wanted to share it and I wanted to put it out there because I mean we don't see that often, you know?
Yeah. That's dude, I am actually speechless because I have not really heard of any companies, you know, stepping up to the plate the way that they just did, you know. And this is, to me, I don't want to say it's gaming, the passion for gaming, but it's more of a passion to do what you love. They're basically helping you take the love that you have or passion that you have on, you know, in this case, it happens to be a video game, and they're just helping you to get you to the next step. There's not many companies out there that do this in the way that they're doing it so genuinely. it's baffling. It's beating. It makes me go speechless.
That's what I'm saying. See what I mean? It's such a feel-good story.
Exactly. It's so freaking awesome. And stories like this is what gives humanity hope.
That's what I'm saying, man. For real. No, think about it. Like, we're always talking about, like, some shifty developer that did some shady crap on the background in microtransactions and how corporations are just being greedy and just trying to take your money. And here's a company who live their dream and are now actually going out of their way to help others live their dream.
Yep.
I wish we were in Australia developing a video game. So, thank you so much for the SUPERHOT Studios. You guys are awesome. I think what you're doing is great, and I hope you get to expand it, because that's the other thing. They want to keep expanding the program literally for as long as they can. Like, they're like, for as long as it's financially stable and suitable for our company to do so. So, like, if they have the money and availability, they're going to do it. So, you know what? I'm out there to support them. I'm out there to freaking, like, speak on their behalf. Go buy SUPERHOT. Buy it on every console. You may think it plays the same.
Dad 101.
Approved by Gaming Dad 101. You may think that it's, oh no, but it plays better on PC. Yeah, but you don't know. Try it on the PlayStation.
Yep.
And then whenever it comes out for the Switch, try it on the Switch. And then if it comes out for the Tesla, like Cuphead, go ahead and get it for the Tesla. It's worth it. All right.
That's the last thing.
That's what I'm saying. All right, everybody. That basically does it for the news for this week. Before we take off, we have something called the Gaming Cheat Code of the Week. Now, this week's cheat code was written by our very own Ricky. So, Ricky, what is the cheat code for the week?
My cheat code for this week, it's more as a general and broad overview, and it is don't let people take you out of your character. In this case, I had something happen to me, which basically got me to the point where it took me out of my normal character, and it has made me felt like crap basically the whole entire day. Just because that is not just my normal self.
Here, for anybody, since you're not really going into it, and I'm assuming to prevent names, essentially, somebody came at Ricky the wrong way, kept coming at them the wrong way. Somebody else got involved, and they came at Ricky to ask a question, and he snapped at the wrong person.
Basically. But yes.
You got taken out of his character.
But in general, this is a cheat code that can be applied just on anything. It could be applied, with your kids. I know for my daughter, she's very hyperactive. Not because of medically or anything. It's just she's just a hyper child, and she just loves attention and everything. And sometimes that can be very overwhelming, especially if you're running on low sleep. Even your own kids can take you out of your own character. So,
I think those are the easiest ones to take you out of character.
Exactly. But yeah, just my advice is don't let people take you out of your character. If you gotta just take a step back and just breathe before you answer anything, just take that quick moment.
Breathe before you choke someone.
Exactly. Just compose yourself, catch your bearings, and then get back in the situation and try to handle it that way than just going off the rails.
Fair enough. I like it. Thank you. It's a good reminder that we probably need more often than we.
Oh yeah. At the end of the day, we are humans. So
I hope so. That's what I tell people anyway.
Unless you went to the Area 51.
Hey! Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Gaming Dad 101, everybody. If you have not done so already, we ask that you please go out and rate us. So the way the rating system works is you go out to your favorite podcast service and you go ahead and you look at it and you say, all right, these people are awesome. I'm going to go ahead and give them 5 stars and tell us why. And then if you think we suck, go ahead and give us 5 stars because it's like the worst thing you could do to us right now. And say why we suck over in the comments. And then if you follow us and you watch us on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I think it's in that direction. And make sure to follow us and hit the notification button that it's down there for a new episode each and every single Friday. Once again, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next week.
Luego.